Hi everyone and welcome, this is the Apostate Prophet. We are in the 21st century. I can't believe it. By now, we know many facts about our planet, our solar system, and the universe in general. We know that our Earth is spherical, that a moon orbits our Earth, that we revolve around the Sun, a star, that the Sun revolves around the center of the galaxy, the Milky Way, and that the galaxy floats in a vast universe, which contains an immense number of other galaxies, stars, and planets as we can see only so far. At least two of these details, that our Earth is spherical and that we revolve around the Sun, are common knowledge that even the least informed people in an average society are aware of. It would really take extreme ignorance and delusion in the face of all the evidence and the clear sight that we have to claim that our Earth was not spherical and in space, and that we don't revolve around the Sun, that the Earth is the center of the universe, for example. It was very common for different cultures in the past, however, to believe that the world was something completely, absurdly different. Different cultures had different primitive myths about the Earth. In ancient Mesopotamian mythologies, it was a predominant belief that the Earth was a great piece of land that is surrounded by an ocean. No one knew how big the ocean was. There was a heaven above and an underworld below us, where dead people go. According to the Babylonian map of the world, the Earth was surrounded by an ocean, and there were 7 islands about which we don't know anything. Sumerians believed that there was only the ocean in the beginning, then the earth and the sky came into existence, then everything else. There were also 3 or 7 heavens above us. According to Zoroastrianism, there was light above and darkness below, and the earth was a bed created as a battlefield for the forces of good and evil and their armies. In Norse cosmology and other Germanic European mythologies, people seemingly believed the earth was on a giant tree, in Norse known as Yggdrasil, and there were more little worlds above and below. These beliefs still existed until the 11th and 12th century, until they were replaced by Christianity. Greek philosophers and scientists figured out that the Earth is spherical over 2000 years ago, and the vast majority of Western people knew that the Earth was spherical for the last 2000 years. Knowledge about whether the Sun or the Earth revolve around the other, what is the center of the universe, and what lies beyond our solar system, has developed over the last 2000 years. Arabs and Muslim societies adopted Greek findings 1000 years ago and helped develop astronomy. But the culture in which Islam as a religion came into existence was like one of those primitive cultures and their primitive, absurd ideas about the cosmos. Muhammad and Islam came out of that culture, and the Quran doesn't correct those false beliefs at all, it continues them. As always with such a topic, I want to remind everyone that it is believed that the Quran was entirely, directly authored by Allah, that everything in it is perfect, that the Quran makes numerous remarks about the natural world, and that the Quran itself says that if there is only one mistake in the Quran, then it can't be from Allah, which means Islam cannot be true. The first point is that the Quran always described the earth as a bed that Allah spread out for us. That sounds so comfortable, doesn't it? This is repeatedly mentioned in over 12 instances. Now, Muslim apologists want to make excuses and explain that this merely means that the earth was spread out for us so we can walk on it. So it is plain to us to walk on and build on. It doesn't refer to the shape of the earth. But that doesn't make any sense. There is absolutely no point in saying that Allah spread the earth and made it a bed when talking about this. The earth is a gigantic, round, solid object that we can live on as it is logical. There is no spreading or anything that needs to be done for a round and solid spheroid to walk on and live on. There is no spreading here. There is no such thing. It is just a round object and you walk on it. That's how it happens. I don't even know how else to argue with this. It clearly sounds like what it clearly sounds like. Allah spread the earth and made it a bed. Which sounds like this, not like this. I mean, seriously, how hard would it be for the Quran, for a divine book that amazes the world, to describe that the earth is actually a sphere, that it's actually round, that everything is pulled together by gravity, that we walk straight on opposite sides of it? If such knowledge was found in the Quran in the 7th century, in Arabia, that would be impressive. Not this. Look at this. In over 6 instances, the Quran even says, often after describing that Allah made the earth a spread bed, that Allah put firm mountains into this earth. It even explicitly describes these mountains as pegs or spikes. So the Quran's author claims not only that Allah made the earth a bed and spread it, but also that He put mountains as objects into or onto this earth, when in reality mountains are the ground that we walk on. When Muslims argue that this spreading and making the earth like a bed simply means that Allah made the earth plain to walk on and not bulky, they completely miss or ignore the fact that an unspread earth would be a mountainous earth. Yet the Quran clearly says that mountains were separately placed into the earth by Allah after He made the earth as a spread bed, which is highly scientifically ignorant on such an extreme level. I can't believe we're talking about this. Moreover, the Quran doesn't just stop at saying that the earth was made as a comfy bed by Allah, the best of housekeepers, the most bright God. It also says that the heavens were created during this creation by the helpful Allah. In one instance, it says that the earth was finished, and then Allah turned Himself toward the heaven and made it 7 heavens. Just like the Sumerians and many other Mesopotamian cultures believed, primitive cultures believed, the Arabs also believed that there were 7 heavens above us, and the stars were in the nearest of those heavens. Now, where exactly are those heavens in all this? Is the entire vast, seemingly endless universe that we see around us the first heaven? Since the Quran says that's where the stars are. It's funny, according to the Quran, Allah actually created the heavens in only 2 days, while creating the earth and everything in it in 4 days. Why are we given a number of days anyway? And why and how did Allah create this endless, vast universe in 2 days, but this tiny, insignificant planet in 4 days? Of course, all that is ridiculous. This here is clearly not what the Quran describes. The Quran came out of a very primitive culture that simply believed in what similar primitive cultures believed in. The Quran doesn't describe our spherical earth and the vast universe, of which Muhammad and his followers were completely unaware of. Otherwise, they would have mentioned outer space, the vast universe, galaxies, stars, other planets, or just simply our solar system and how it is arranged. Why does the Holy Quran, which is supposed to be completely accurate and a miracle, never explicitly talk about the shape of the Earth, the solar system, other solar systems, other planets? Why is there no information about the galaxy and other galaxies? Why doesn't it talk about the vast universe? Of course, a Muslim apologist would come by and say, well, just because the Quran is silent about these, it doesn't mean it's wrong and ignorant. Yeah, Muslims can tell that to themselves. It's strange, however, that the Quran can never stop talking about the moon and the sun and how they chase each other, and the stars above that could possibly fall down on us, and the sky which Allah is holding up, and the night and the day and how Allah has arranged everything. What the Quran describes is water. Everything was water once, and Allah's throne was on the water, according to the Quran itself, that most Muslims don't properly read. In fact, Muhammad explains in a completely authentic hadith that there was Allah first and nothing else, and His throne was on the water. And then Allah wrote everything and created the heavens and the earth. The Quran actually teaches that nothing means water, which means water is the universe. Water is the origin of everything. That's why the Quran says that Allah created everything from water. Water is the world, according to the Arab pagan cosmology. Then Allah created the heavens and the earth as one entity and separated it into the heaven and the earth. He spread the earth and made it a bed where we can walk and live on, and put mountains and rivers and roads into it. He created animals and everything on the earth. Meanwhile, the heaven was just a smoke, and then He created 7 heavens of that above us. And He sent water, rain, down from the sky to make plants and vegetables and fruit grow. Remember, the universe is water, and Allah sends water as a blessing from the sky. Rain is a blessing, and He knows very well not to bless His beloved Arabia with those rains. Somewhere in those heavens, the sun and the moon chase each other, and day and night chase each other. The night, which is literally the absence of sunlight, is also described as a veil, by the way, which covers the day, of course. The stars are little lights that are in the nearest heaven. Some of them are thrown at devils who live among us when they try to sneak up through the heavens to listen to Allah's secret messages between Him and His angels. Speaking of it, Allah is in or on top of the heavens since He created the heavens and the earth. The Quran says that Allah established Himself above His throne, and Muhammad reportedly said that Allah's throne is above the highest heaven. But Muslims can't really agree where Allah's location is, which is why I will lengthily talk about where Allah is. Muslims insult and banish each other over that. Believe me, it's a very funny shit show. By the way, the Quran doesn't only teach that there are 7 heavens, it also tells us that there are 7 earths. It says it is Allah who has created 7 heavens, and of the earth the same number. In the Hadith, Muhammad refers to these earths as below us, as down. So they must be down here, toward the center of this spheroid. And one day we will dig down and find those earths, of course. Seriously, on a plain reading, if we read the Quran as it is, this is the world that the Quran describes. If you didn't know what the world and the universe actually look like, and you only read the Quran, this is what you would understand. And that already tells so much, it couldn't be clearer. But nowadays, now that we know that this is not what the cosmos looks like, Muslim apologists take all these numerous Quran verses and reinterpret them, trying to make us think that the Quran was not only not inaccurate about the cosmos, but that it also accurately described it. Actually, that's what they want to make themselves think, because otherwise Islam's divinely revealed perfect book would be inaccurate, which would mean Islam is wrong. Well, it really looks like Islam is wrong. It is very clear that Islam describes such a primitive world, and the mere fact that Muslims so brutally try to reinterpret and explain all these numerous verses simply shows how ignorant Islam actually is, and how people only started believing in it because it was so violently spread to them. And the cultures that adopted Islam merely shaped and changed Islam with time according to everything they learned. When they learned something new, they simply reinterpreted what Islam says, because they couldn't abandon it or change it. When 1000 years ago, Arabs took astronomy from the places they conquered and studied and helped develop it, they reshaped Islamic beliefs, and Islamic scholars lengthily discussed the shape of the world. In fact, it is very commonly known that Muslim astronomers mostly believed in the old Greek Ptolemaic model, the geocentric model of the universe, where the Earth was falsely assumed to be the center of the universe, and the planets, the stars, and the sun were revolving around the Earth. Think about it. If the Quran did actually accurately describe the universe, the world, and our nature, as Muslims today often want to claim, then why did Muslim astronomers, of which Muslims today are so proud of, actually believe in a completely false model of the universe and support that with the Quran as undoubtable proof? We have meanwhile understood that neither the earth nor the sun are at the center of the universe, but that we are rather at some completely insignificant point, a random point in a vast universe. There are over 100 to 200 billion galaxies that we can detect, over 2,500 planetary systems that we have discovered only in our galaxy, and we are on one planet in one of those planetary systems. We know this now. No thanks to Allah the Almighty and His sweet Prophet, who was afraid of clouds and who thought that the sun goes to visit Allah at night. That's because Muhammad was not a holy prophet of the Almighty Allah. He was just some random deluded merchant who happened to be successful in spreading his deluded message with force. Seriously, it's time to stop. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share it with all your family and friends to watch it at home while the coronavirus is going around. I know I'm very insensitive, but if you want to support me and my cause against a different virus, you can support me on Patreon or on apostateprophet.com. I appreciate your support very much. I will be back. Have a great day and stay away from Islam.